could Tank Lawrence get a $14 million a year deal from the Cowboys? I'm only going to give it the 1 star on this one. It really doesn't make actually any sense for me, because if you're Tank Lawrence, why would you agree to a $14 million deal? Yes, it's what Zach Martin got, but we know that edge rushers are always paid more than offensive guards when they're both among the top of their positions. And while the Zach Martin deal does free up more cap space, it's actually about an extra $3 million for this year, that doesn't mean Tank is going to take the exact same deal. Why would Tank take $14 million when A, he's locked into 17, and guys like Von Miller got 19? Now, Tank doesn't really want 19, but he does want to match Von Miller's deal, the same deal his agent got for Vernon. Vernon and Tank share the same agent. Why would you not pay those players that amount? And if you're signing a deal for $14 million a year, if you're DeMarcus Lawrence, you're not even a top 10 paid edge rusher in the NFL. Melvin Ingram, Calais Campbell, all these guys make more. Maybe if you fully guarantee the deal, maybe Tank considers it. But this is 1 star at most. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for the Cowboys to only pay DeMarcus Lawrence $14 million a year, because Tank's going to say no to that contract. So let me know in the comments section, folks, how much you think DeMarcus Lawrence should make for the Cowboys. The starting price, for at least for Tank's side, starts at $17 million a year. On to Randy Gregory. So I think some good news coming up here on this one. Randy Gregory, what's the latest on his reinstatement? When will he be reinstated? I'm going to give it 3 stars. I think it is more likely than not that Randy Gregory is reinstated by the NFL. Here's your big key update. Gregory met with Commissioner Roger Goodell on Tuesday in New York, and Gregory, by the way, has documents proving he has been clean for months. Now, that says to me that Gregory should be reinstated by the NFL, but we know what the NFL likes to do to the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott. So, not going to give it 4 stars yet, but it does seem promising for Randy Gregory that'll be back on the field with the Cowboys this year. And if Gregory is on the field with the Dallas Cowboys, what could that potentially look like? So, again, some more updates here on Randy Gregory. The hype is quickly generating around Randy Gregory here. Should there be low expectations or not? That's our next rumor. I'm going to give it 2 heads. I think there should be low expectations, but I don't think there are actually going to be. So the Cowboys have low expectations. Rod Marinelli said that it's different when you've been away from the field for so long. It's been over a year. Marinelli just hopeful and happy to get a chance to work with him potentially again. But the hype is building around one Randy Gregory. Bobby Belt, friend of the show, says Gregory will have at least 5 sacks, which is a lot for a guy that has 1 career sack in the NFL. So, folks, we're going to play over or under. Over under 5 sacks for Randy this year with the Dallas Cowboys. I think 5 sounds optimistic. He hasn't played hardly at all in the past 2 years. To say that the 5 sacks is the minimum is a lot, and I love the optimism. I hope it comes true, but I would lead more towards the under than the over, especially since he hasn't even been officially reinstated yet by the NFL. So I am all aboard Gregory making an impact. But we got to pump the brakes here just a little bit. Haven't talked much about Jaylon Smith this offseason. We have some good updates for him coming up here in just a second, but first, a word from our sponsor, The Guild. Jaylon Smith looking great in OTAs and minicamp. Yeah, I'm going to give this one the 4 stars, and this comes from Rod Marinelli, who says that Jaylon looks different this year. We'll get to some video here as well of Jaylon Smith, who, by the way, looks absolutely ripped this year. I talk about best shape of life season. This is best shape of life for Jaylon Smith right there. Just some notes on what Rod Marinelli has said. Last year, Rod said that Jaylon Smith was fast in a straight line, but now the movement is in all direction, and it looks different. This is really good news for Jaylon Smith. Rod Marinelli, by the way, threw a comparison up for Notre Dame Jaylon Smith. So I love to see this. We haven't really talked a whole lot about Jaylon Smith, but he was much better down the stretch last year. Looks really good in OTAs and minicamp so far this year. Has been getting consistent first-team reps. A promising sign for Smith, who could become the guy the Cowboys hoped they were going to get when they took him in round 2 after that devastating knee injury. On now to Jordan Lewis. Is he a backup for the Cowboys? Depends on what viewpoint you take. If you take what he should be, then no. If what he is right now in minicamp and in the summer, then yeah. So I'm going to give it 2 stars. As of right now, Jourdan Lewis continues to work with the second-team defensive back unit behind Chidobe Awuzie, behind Byron Jones, and behind Anthony Brown. He gets work on the outside and the inside, and I actually hate this idea. Like, I don't mind Anthony Brown. I love Byron and Cheeto. Jourdan Lewis needs to be your starting nickel corner. This should not be much of a discussion. He's without a doubt one of your 3 best cornerbacks. Get him on the field. Let him make plays. If he plays the slot, I think Jourdan will be the best nickel corner in the NFL in a couple of years, and it won't be very long. But speaking of the cornerbacks overall, folks, who is the best cornerback on the Dallas Cowboys? Give me a heart for Byron Jones, a like for Cheeto, a wow face for Jourdan Lewis, and a laughy face for Jourdan Lewis, and a wow face for Anthony Brown. I'm hoping it's going to be Byron Jones. I have high expectations this year for Byron. On now to Rico Gathers. Is he getting some work at H-back? I'll give this one 3 stars. Now, the way the Cowboys have used the H-back, it's almost kind of more of a fullback tight end hybrid. Think of a Chris Cooley, but for other teams in the NFL, the H-back is often more of a move tight end. So it's a little bit of a hybrid type position. Rico says the Cowboys give him work at that F position. It's the H-back for the Cowboys, and he's excited about it. On the flip side, Rico continues to work as a 4th tight end on the roster. So some good news there from Rico. I think he likes the challenge of working at some new positions. And the Cowboys did use Jason Witten as a kind of a fullback tight end hybrid. I still think, though, Rico's best chance best spot is more of a wide receiver tight end hybrid. Think of a move tight end, a Jimmy Graham type guy. But again, as of right now, Rico remains 4th on the depth chart at tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Some more not-so-great news for Dallas is the passing game having issues early in minicamp. And this one, I'm going to give it 3 stars. It's accurate, but I'm not going to freak out about it quite yet. And Dak Prescott and Scott Linehan have said very similar things. The Cowboys' passing attack, it is not where it needs to be right now. They've had inaccurate passes from Dak Prescott. Some wrong routes have been run. Some drops as well during OTAs and minicamp, which on one hand, you get concerned about. On the other hand, though, that's kind of expected, right? You're bringing in a whole bunch of new players, receiver and tight end. There's going to be a learning curve there in terms of chemistry. It'll take some time. I'm not panicking yet. It's just June. The reason to hit that panic button, but it is worth monitoring. Good news, Dak says they are getting better. All right, next up is Tavon Austin, a steal for the Dallas Cowboys. I'll give it 2 stars, and I'm very curious to see what the Dallas Cowboys do with Tavon Austin in the preseason. Now, I think he's going to be a Lance Dunbar receiver-type halfback hybrid, just more or less an athlete. As Scott Linehan was asked about Tavon Austin, and he answered, the question was what role he was going to play, and Linehan said he's Tavon Austin, which didn't really answer the question. So the upside is there for Tavon, but the upside has also been there for years now with Austin. He was really a halfback first for the Cowboys, or for the Rams last year. Cowboys only got a 6th-round pick, so I like that. I just don't know how big of an impact and what type of role Austin will have week in and week out. He'll get his touches, but I don't think he's going to be the team's number 2 offensive guy like some are suggesting. But, folks, let me know how many TDs Austin will have this year. I think 5 is the over-under again. I'll take the under. I think it's going to be more like 3 or 4, unless he really wows on special teams. All right, folks, another rumor here for you guys. Are the Cowboy receivers only just now being taught to run routes? I'll give this one 3 stars. Comes to us from Cole Beasley in a comment that is viewed as praise for Sean J. Law, but also kind of shade for one Derek Dooley. Cole said it feels like it's the first time we're actually being taught how to run routes instead of just naturally doing it. That's not what you want to hear said. Now, I get that it's praise for Sanjay Law, but I think this is more evidence of my theory that Derek Dooley was a manager, not a teacher. He managed Dez Bryant and his kind of, personality. Sanjay Law was more of a teacher. Still, that's not a good thing and not a very positive comment to be cast towards Derek Dooley. Hopefully the Cowboys wide receivers fare better under Sanjay Law than Dooley in 2018.